Hello and welcome to my studio. This is Sheila and I'm with Stamping Wishes. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. Today we're going to be making this viewfinder, and the blog hop that I'm in right now with the Glitter Queens is called Stepping into Easter. And so I thought, what an ideal situation with the little duck stepping along. And we'll change our Easter greeting, which is what we used this past Friday in my stamp club, and we'll make it Happy Spring. But what this does is it has a little wheel and it comes around and does this. Okay? And so you can put any type of design or style that you want to in it. My club, when they get their pieces, they get a completed package that includes all the, in fact this is one of the packets here, and it includes all of your different pieces that go with it. So we'll be using that out of this package, and they get also the instructions along with the supply orders that they need. Okay, so in addition to that, when I colored this one, I went ahead and thought it needed something back here like the clouds. So that's what I did. I punched out, I think this one was 2 3/8 punch, and then you just take and line it wherever you want to, and you sponge on your balmy blue is what I used on the top here. Sponged on the green from the Granny Apple Green, and did the grass from that same stamp set in that one. And then I did my greetings with the Gorgeous Grape. Okay. I also used the little flowers here that are the frosted flower embellishments to cover my little brad. Well, this one kind of came off, I think, from being handled so much Friday, but anyway, I'm using the glue dots to paste that on there to hide the brad. All right, so let's go ahead and get started with the mechanism of that, and then we'll talk about, as far as my colors go, I used my stamping blend. So I used both of the Highland Heather colors. Then for this one, I used the Granny Apple Green, the Duo. And then for this one, I used Pink Period, I think is how it said. I used the 2 from there. And then for the little boy duck, I used the Balmy Blue, the new Balmy Blue. And then for their beaks, for the mother goose, I went ahead with the light pumpkin on top. And then for the inside of the mouth, I used the dark one. And then for the flowers and the butterflies, I had used the lovely lipstick combo along with the Highland Heather. And then let's see what else. Oh yes, I used the chalk marker to make my little polka dots on their clothing. Okay, so that's how we did that. So we'll set this aside for a second and start the assembly of the card. We're just going to fold this in half. There we go. And then we're going to adhere the black layer on next. So let's go ahead and do that. In fact, today looks just like a beautiful spring day here in Texas. We have an abundance of sunshine, and I think we're supposed to get into 63, which is a beautiful time to me to open windows, so I shall be doing that a little bit later. Okay, we'll come back to this because we will kind of punch a little bit of a, with my 2-inch punch, a little slot here, but I want to get the assembly of this done so I know exactly where I want to mark that, okay? So let's go to here. In their kits, they got the 2. One had a T on it, which was for their template, and then the one that is actually their piece. And what they were told to do is to take their template and take and match it up on the edges like so. And then to come the opposite direction and match up their scallops so that they were completely even. Might as well use our bone folder. We have it there. Okay. And so they get 4 quadrants out of this. And this one kind of, when you look at it, kind of looks like it might be off a little bit, but that's where it folded, so we're going to go with it. And then they were told to take their 1-inch punch and go between a quadrant. It didn't matter which one it was. And the way I told them to do this, to know where they were, is to go back and forth where they see that their ridges are, and then go up to see where their center piece was, and just come down a little bit, and that would get them pretty close to the center of it. Okay. And that's what they got. Okay. So the next thing I asked them to do was to turn over their card. And by the way, this Whisper White measures 3 3/4 by 5, if I didn't mention that earlier. Okay. And so I'm looking at this in that I want my circle where the little viewfinder is going to be is up in that corner. And I want to leave me enough space here to put a little part of a brad or the strip adhesive to hold the card up the way we're going to be doing it. So I look at this part and I think, okay, that looks good. I like the way that is coming around there. So we're going to go ahead and call this good. I may bring it just a little bit over here just to make sure. If I get it too far out, I'm afraid that maybe one of my circles won't fit in there. So then I took the piercing pad and I took one of our piercing tools and I went into the center and punched through. So at this point I left it in and took one of my pencils and I came around with the pencil and made my circle back here. Okay, so now we can go ahead and take this off since we know that all has its deal. And this is how I knew where to punch my 1-inch circle. So we'll go ahead and punch the 1-inch circle. Okay, and so that's where our viewfinder is going to be right there. All right, so next we have to line this up with our quadrants so that we know where to stamp our piece. So we're going to set this aside for right now. And what I did was ask them to take and line this up exactly like it was here and draw their pencil, make sure their scallops were together, draw their pencil, lift it up, put their little tack mark there, go to the other side, put their little, whoops, line this back up again here, which is real easy to do. Make sure I get to the right ones. And there's probably an easier way to do this, but this is what I found worked well for us. And then a tack mark there, and then the last tack mark over here. Right there. Okay. Then I had them take a ruler and lightly, very lightly, draw between their tick marks. So we're going to go here and draw a line, and then we're going to go over here and draw our other line. Okay. So what this does is to give you your 4 quadrants that you're going to be stamping within. And then I went ahead and had them take their card back, and so that we knew exactly where we wanted it pierced. Back the same thing, I want to make sure that I'm in line with my circle, and it looks like I am. So I'll just go ahead and put my piercing tool there, and then I took one of our brads, and I'm going to go ahead and put this on temporarily to draw how my stamp needs to go, because it's really important that you find the quadrant of how it fits in there, and also at what is your bottom point, because if you don't, whatever you're stamping in there is going to come off centered. It could be upside down, it could be different areas. So what I did is tell them, again, go here, you see the line, go back over there, you see the line, and bring yourself back to where you feel like you're in the center. And you're going to go ahead and lightly draw this circle, and all of this is, oops, erasable. Got carried away there with that one. Let's go ahead and erase it. I'll get it later. Okay, this is where I told them to take their line and come across to show that's the bottom. So when they stamp, when I take this apart and they stamp that, they're going to use the masking of their template, and they're able to see what direction to put the stamp. So then we roll over here, we come to the next one, we just passed the quadrant there, and we went too far there, so we'll go ahead and do it. And this one I probably could have brought down just a little bit because I can see some of the scallops, but it's not going to make any difference. It'll still look real pretty. So we're going to go ahead and cross over here again, telling us that's our bottom. Coming over here to this one, backing it back, doing our circle, and then coming over here, and our last circle. Okay, so at this point we'll take this off and set our brad aside until we need it. And a lot of times what I do is I stick my brads inside my piece so that I don't lose them onto my piercing pad. Okay, so now I see I've got my 4 circles in my quadrants, and I'm going to use this template where I punched the hole to line it up so that when I stamp, if the stamp is bigger, it's not going to go outside my circles. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started with our stamping, and we're going to be using this, and it looks like I may have, nope, here it is. I thought maybe I'd forgotten my memento, but I didn't. Here it is. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and we'll start with the tulip, and what I did was just do every other one, a tulip or a butterfly. And because this is your template, you really don't mind, but make sure, because you only have one chance to do this, that it's inked up well, and that when you come down to stamp it, that you hold it and let that ink transfer off, because you want a nice clear, like that one is. Okay, so we're going to move this over, and this time we're going to use our butterfly. And that looks inked up well, so we're going to bring the butterfly right in there. Very pretty. Okay, then we're going to go do our tulip again, and you could use anything. I mean, there's, I think, a hello in there. Yeah, there is a hello in there, and so you could use that hello and just as a greeting in there. You could use it for any kind of little greeting that you want to put in there, but I chose to do just the design florals this time of the butterfly and the tulip, as it was spring. We'll come in here and press down and hold. Okay, and one more butterfly, and then we're gonna, I'll color this real quickly. I should have colored it pre-hand so that we could move on, but I'll speed up the film, and that way you don't have to go through all of the coloring parts of it. And press and hold again. Very pretty. Okay, now don't do your erasing until your coloring is done, and give that black time to dry on you, because if you do it too soon, then you're going to be smearing that black all over your wheel there, and you don't want that to happen to you. Okay, so let's go ahead. I'm going to speed it up now, so I'm going to go quiet and get this colored real quick. All right, so we've got our coloring done now, so now we can go ahead. I did have a couple of, evidently my template was a little bit off and allowed some of the stamp to stamp outside that, which is fine. And I used a little bit of our chalk marker to try and cover that up where it wasn't quite so bright. Okay, so now it's time for us to start the assembly. And so let's go ahead and get our, well, I had it there when I moved it. Where did it go? I was being so smart and put it in here, and then I, oh, turned it upside down. That's why. Silly me. Okay, so let's go ahead and get our brad back in there. Come on, you went in there easy the first time. And let's go ahead and get our piece here. Just done. Okay, so here we have it, and as you can see, we've got our little turntable, and it goes all the way around. Okay, so let's go ahead and finish up the assembly of this. While we've got it here, let me go ahead and get me one of my pieces here of the flowers. I think we're going to go with maybe, we'll stick with the purple. I kind of like the purple one. Okay, and then we're going to go ahead and we can put our greeting on last. So let's go ahead and start putting our adhesive strips over here. And what I do warn you about is make sure that when you're doing your strips that you do not get it too close to your wheel. So what I did was cut just a little bit of a piece of that off there just to hold that corner on there, and then from there I went ahead and started using the longer strips, again not coming too close to the wheel to give it plenty of room. Okay, and we need one that's going to be out here. Looks like. And you don't have to meet the corners, as long as you've got something that's holding it up is all you really need to balance the whole shape of. Okay, so here we've got these ready to go. Looks like we've got some paper on there that needs to come off. There we go. Okay, so now it's time for me to find where I want to put my little turn piece in, and I'm only going to do it in the front of the card. And so this is approximately where I'm going to have it. So what I'm going to do is mark here, and here is where I want to fit that into, okay? And so we're going to take our 2-inch punch and come in here, and I don't want to go too far in. I just need it a little bit of a notch out. And since we're going through 2, I have to really push on it. Okay, so now we have that, and we can go ahead and take off the front here. Our little sticky tabs. Okay, so now we're ready to put this down evenly as we can get it. That looks good. Great. So now we can still maneuver our little window. Okay. So now let's go ahead and stamp our greeting real quick. And let's see. Happy Spring. Now the punch I used for my Happy Spring, to be honest with you, I didn't think to look this morning before I started filming to which of the 10 kits that I had gotten that had that punch in it, but I do love to collect the tins and all of the different punches and greetings that come with them. I just love them. And such a good price for everything that you get in the package, and everything is reusable if you want to gift the tin to a friend with a lot of different cards or other type things. So we're going to go in here and use this punch it out. Okay, and I feel like we need a little bit of color around there, so let's go ahead and get this. And I think I'll do this so I don't mess up my paper. And I got a little bit of a sponge here, so let's go ahead and use that. And we're also going to use a little bit of our jewels. Okay. Get our rhinestones out here. Oh, you know what would be even prettier? Let's use some of these. Our glitter enamel. Look how pretty that will go with there. Either that or even the green would be pretty. Yeah, I think the green. I like that. Okay, so let's go ahead and put us maybe one of our large one right here in the center. And let's go with our smaller one. I think about here. Or maybe we'll put two small ones there. Let's go ahead and do that. Oh yeah, that's pretty. Okay, so now we have that, and then we'll put since my dimensionals aren't close by, I'll just go ahead and use part of my strip and attach our greeting on. All right, so here we go. Let's put our greeting on right here. All right, so here we are. We have our cards now. And again, this is our Glitter Queen blog hop, so don't forget to punch on the person underneath me so that you can keep going through all the blogs. But here are the two different cards. A lot of fun to make. And so until next time, happy stamping.